One step, then two, then a million more. Sunday morning you walked the old wood floor to lift a song to heaven and let the praises ring. Let him use your life and heard the choir sing. Well done, dear faithful one. Though the mountains were steep, now the race is run. See the Father smile, Father and the Son. Well done, dear faithful one.
Good evening, folks. I realize this is kind of an unusual service, but I want to say how I want to express my appreciation for you that have come tonight to pay your respect for me and my family. For this, I'm eternally grateful. I want to thank you ministers who have chosen to come tonight. As many of you have worked with me over the years, we've had good services together, and we've had several funeral services as this together. And we've had, I look back over our time and cherish it very much. And you morticians out there, we've always had a good understanding, and we've always worked together. And I've always considered you keeping my services short enough that you didn't have to bring no midnight snack to tide you over. So I'm just grateful you're here. You ministers, you morticians, keep on doing the work that you're doing, and everything will be all right. I've been at Hillcrest roughly 60 years. I've enjoyed my ministry there. I've had one book called my textbook, and that's the Bible. I've had one basic message to preach, and that is salvation by grace through faith. And in order for you to reach heaven and the glory that God has in store for you, you must understand the need of being born again. I've preached this message over and over, and I want to take this last opportunity tonight to invite anyone who might be here that's never accepted the Lord. So many people say, well, what is that? It's simply this. In the book of Romans 10, it said, if the word is nigh thee in thy mouth, even the word that we preach, that if thou wilt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and believe in thine heart that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. And that's how simple salvation is. And through the years, I've preached salvation by grace through faith and Christian growth as my messages from one day to another. Now, some say, oh, Carl finally died. They're wrong. I've just changed environments. And you say I'm dead when I'm in the presence of Jesus? He told the thief on the cross, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. The Apostle Paul said, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And that's where I am. And you say I'm dead when I've entered into that eternal rest that God has for us. The book of Hebrews 4:9 said, there remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. And I've entered into that rest. It's a rest from a troubled mind. It's a rest from a sense of failures. It's a rest from periods of disappointment. It's a rest from the temptation and trials that we endure through life. And so I've entered into that rest, and I'm happily doing what the will of God has made for me to do. No more bodily suffering. Am I dead when there's no more suffering? Can you say I'm dead when I've been reunited with loved ones gone? No, I've just slipped from time into eternity. Did so through the door we call death. The Bible said, eye hasn't seen, ear hasn't heard, neither entered the heart of man the things God prepared for those that love him. But in order for us to get those and enjoy that, we have to step from time into eternity, and that's what I've done. From time through the door we call death into eternity, where I can enjoy all the good things that God has in store for us. I'd like to sum my life up as the Apostle Paul did. Not that I would put myself on his level, but it's true of every Christian. Paul said, I fought a good fight, I finished my course, I've kept the faith, therefore there's a crown of righteousness laid up for me, not for me only, but to all those that love his appearing. That includes me and you, if you'll just accept the Lord. And so, I want to close this service out tonight by the story that I heard of an old man who was down on the Mississippi River. He was fishing. A little boy came down and sat down and said, you mind if I sit down with you? I'd like to talk to you a while. They sat there all afternoon, and late in the afternoon, a riverboat came around the bend in the river and started blowing its horn. You know how loud those things sound. And the little boy jumped up and ran over to the bank. The old man said, son, you don't think that big boat's going to stop and pick a little boy like you up, do you? Well, to his surprise, it did. The boat pulled over, gangplank was lowered, and the man said, come on, son, it's time for you to go to your new home up the river. That's just what death is. The other afternoon, the old ship of Zion came around the bend in the river of life. Captain Jesus saw me sitting over there on the bank, tired, worn out, weary, and he pulled over and let the gangplank of grace down. He said, come on aboard, son. It's time you go to your new home up the river where loved ones are waiting. Therefore, I can say to you tonight here, death means nothing more than for a Christian than getting on the riverboat of life and going to your new home up the river. And I want to say to you, I appreciate again you being here tonight. And I want to say good night to all of you. And I'll see you in the morning. God bless you.
See the Father smile, Father and the Son. Well done, dear faithful one. See the Father smile, Father and the Son. Well done, dear faithful one.
I'm looking forward to hearing him say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter thou in the joy of the Lord. Brother, that's all I want to hear. I don't care what should be said. The only thing I want to hear God say to me is, well done.